Morning, everyone. It is so good to be with you this morning. I sit at my desk and I look out of a window. There's a window in front of me. There's a huge tree in front of the window, and if I look down, I can see some grass there, and I can see patches of sky up the top as well. And it reminded me this morning when I asked the Lord what to talk about. Of a discussion that I had with a friend of mine last week. She's actually a counselor, and I see her regularly because if I'm going to be a coach and a counselor, then I know that I need to walk the talk, right? And I love it. I get to have somebody else's input, Holy Spirit's input on my mindsets, where I need to be corrected, where I need to walk a different way, revelation of things I never thought of before. So I meet with this counselor regularly, just like I meet with others regularly to counsel them and coach them. So we were talking about lack versus abundance, and just thinking about the fact that what I wrote in the description above, we can look at our bank account and we see a number that tells us how much is in the bank account. Or we can look at a task that we have to do on our to-do list today, whether you're teaching kids at home, whether you're out at work, whether you're running errands, whatever you're doing today. You can look at that and you go, I have this amount of energy, so I can do this many tasks today, right? It's a resource that we have to be able to fulfill the tasks. We can look at a problem that we're trying to solve and go, oh, okay, I have this thinking about it. I can do this solution, I have this solution, and we have a set of resources that we can employ. And the Lord really challenged me the other day during this counseling session and said to me, don't box me in to what you think, right? That God's definition of abundance is way bigger than ours. I said, Lord, explain that to me. And so he showed me, he said, Lisa, when I took Abraham out and I told him to look at the stars, he was out in the desert. So you can imagine how many millions of stars he saw. And he said, I will make your descendants as many as the stars that you see, as many as the grains of sand. And he said to me, Lisa, look out of your window and look at the tree, look at the grass. And at night, I challenge you to go out and lie on your back in the grass and look at the stars above. He said everything that comes from him, so not the things we think of on the earth as in a bank account or a problem that we need to solve or a task that we need to do, but everything that is in nature, that is natural, has an abundance of it. Because if I look at this tree outside my window, I can't count the number of leaves on there. It'll take me a very long time if I even tried, right? There's just an abundance of leaves on the tree because that's what the tree was created to do, right? If I look at the grass outside, there's no way I can count the blades of grass that are in nature that he made because he puts an abundance into things. And if I looked at the stars without the city lights around me, there's no way I could count the amount of stars that I see above me. Right? And it was just such a beautiful picture of all of this abundance of nature. So when God does something, when he looks at, oh, what should we do to cover the ground? Let's make grass. Well, there's an abundance of it. When he looks at trees and he goes, well, cover them in leaves. There's an abundance of them. Can you imagine trying to count the leaves on a pine tree, all the little needles or something? And when he looks at the stars, he just puts so many that we can't even begin to fathom how many there are. So I said, okay, Lord, but what happens in winter when the grass dies and there's no leaves on the trees? He said, well, there's even an abundance in that because the season of winter is for rest. And there is an abundance of rest because the trees don't have to make leaves or flowers or grow or anything like that. They just rest. And it was so beautiful to me to think that God's view of things, everything, every little thing we go through today, everything he's inviting us to, every adventure, is full of abundance thinking, not lack thinking. So whatever you've got to look at today, if you're homeschooling the kids today, and you go, okay, I've got these books, I've got these resources, and this is how much I remember of math. I mean, I don't remember much about math from school, right? But this is how much I remember about math. And God's looking at the situation going, no, I'm the one who created math. Let me give you the wisdom to know not only how to do the sums, but how to teach each one of the children how to do it, right? When he looks at a business issue, like I'm planning business today, and he looks at it and I go, okay, Lord, I know this much about setting up a business, and I know this much about projecting and spreadsheets and budgeting and things like that. And he goes, no, but I know even more, and I know exactly what it will look like for your business, Lisa. So for your business, wherever you are or whatever job you're in, God has infinite abundant resources for yours, what it is that he wants you to do. Isn't that so cool? For the tasks that you have today, he says, for those that will come to me and I'll give you rest, or I'll lift you up on wings like eagles, right? So he'll give us the grace. That's what grace means, the ability of heaven to do something on earth. to do what it is that He wants us to do today. Not more, right? When we overwork, which I am guilty of, and try to do more than I need to do or is invited to do each day. But for what He's invited to do us to do each day, He'll give us the energy to be able to do that. So this is the invitation to you today is to say to the Lord, Lord, I can see this amount in front of me, but will you show me the abundance that you have put in place for the things that you have for me to do today, the way my light gets to shine today so that the world can see who you are, the things that you've written in the Lamb's Book of Life for me to do today, for the purpose that you put me on earth for to fulfill today. Here it's August the 18th for me. What is it that you have packed today full of that heaven will resource from an abundant place, an abundance mindset that I get to walk in today? Think about that. Think about how wonderful it is. You don't have to do today in your own strength, ability to think, amount of energy, that we get to do it from the abundance of heaven. So that's the adventure that Jesus is inviting you on today. To think from this place, to partner with the mind of Christ, to partner with Holy Spirit and say, yes, look, I want to go on this adventure of abundance. Show me what abundance looks like today. So this is the adventure you are being invited on today. Jesus is inviting you on. Will you accept? See you guys again.